Hello, I am Shelley Schmidt, and I am a commercial and a fine art photographer in Aiken, South Carolina. I've been involved with the Saratoga WarHorse program for 5 years now, ever since they started their satellite program in Aiken at the Aiken Equine Rescue. The photographs behind me are all a part of an exhibit that I've called Silent Witness, and it is paired with verbal panels typically that will lead you through the program, the Saratoga WarHorse program, and kind of explain both to the public what is involved with this very powerful and impactful program for veterans. My role with the program is really to just document each of the sessions so that I can give a visual record to each of the veterans of their experience with the horse that was selected for them that particular day. I don't really have contact with the veterans after that particular day, but when I do hear from them, either through our facilitator or program coordinator, I'll often hear just how important these photographs are for the veterans after they've had this experience, when they either they want to have something to refer back to, because I'm sure that particular day is a blur to them. It's about a 10 to 15 minute process that they have in a round pen, and I would imagine that anything that they would have to refer back to, and they also have a video of their whole experience, which is I think a huge piece to go back to. Anyway, the exhibit, when it started, was to bring, I guess, a better understanding to the public of what this program does for veterans. There isn't a charge for the veterans, so being run on donations, it's really critical that the public have an understanding of how impactful this is. And when we had the first exhibit, which was about a year ago, we were, the particular gallery we were exhibiting in needed to have pieces priced. We really weren't sure that these were something that would have a great appeal because of the size and the nature to people, to the general public. And actually, the day before the exhibit even opened, we had one woman who wanted to meet me. She was so moved by the exhibit and said that this spoke to the unspoken word in her military family, and she was trying to choose between a couple of images, and she ended up purchasing 2 images and 2 verbal panels, and we just stood there sobbing together. We were really not expecting the success and how meaningful this was to military families, and I think we sold more than half of the show in the first exhibit in Aiken. So I've mentioned before that I really have very little knowledge of the veterans as they go through the program. I see them the day I'm there to do photography, and I do not really have much interaction with them at all. One very different situation is that of the veteran behind me, who went through the program in 2015. His horse was, oh my goodness, making the green, and it was, I believe, February 2015. Anyway, he has since become very involved with the program. It was life-changing to him, totally life-changing. And it's so gratifying to hear this after the fact, to know how, well, for one, how much the program meant to him, and he'll frequently tell me how important it is for him to go back to the photos or the video just as a reminder of, if he's having a low day, but just something to refer back to for that experience. But the change in him, I could see the change in him that day in the process of his experience. It was very moving. So this is again one of the few times that I can relate to a photo very personally because of having that knowledge after the fact of that person and that encounter. And in creating this exhibit, I actually pulled from the 5 years of archives. And in going back through from 2014, it was a rather moving experience for me to see all that, remember all of those experiences, all the horses, all the veterans. I remember all of those days, those connections so well.